Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy IntroSpecktive, and I know this is kind of weird, a little off the beaten path from what I normally do, but Attack on Titan's manga just ended, and I really wanted to talk about it because it's my favorite form of media, and I know that there's a lot of Attack on Titan fans in the gaming community. A lot of you guys who watch my stuff like Attack on Titan, I know that from Twitter and everything, so yeah, I kind of just wanted to give my thoughts on the show and the manga and the final chapter and just kind of create a little discussion here because like I said, it's my favorite form of media. Like, it's my favorite story. Eren Yeager's my favorite character, like, in anything. Like, I have a tattoo of the show. Like, one of the tattoos that I have is of Attack on Titan, so like, I'm all in on Attack on Titan. Like, I've loved this show since I started watching it, and actually I didn't start watching it until last year. I had never watched it. I've never been like a huge anime fan. I've enjoyed some of the more mainstream stuff like Dragon Ball and Naruto and, Yu Yu Hakusho, all those kinds of like mainstream animes that, the masses have seen. I've watched most of those, but I've never been like the kind of anime watcher who's like reading manga every day and like really like finding like obscure animes to watch and stuff. I've always enjoyed anime, but like I'm not like a diehard anime fan. However, Attack on Titan, to me, is like my favorite thing. So, my favorite thing happens to be an anime. I'm just not like a huge anime fan. So I hadn't actually watched it until last year. So, I didn't really have to wait too long. I had to wait for the season 4 episodes and the last, arcs of the manga, obviously. But like, I might have a different, perspective on the show and point of view because I got to kind of like see it all unfold at once. I got to just watch the first 3 seasons, and then I got to read the manga up to like the last, like, I don't know, 6 or 7 chapters. And then I was able to just, cruise from there watching the season 4 anime and then the new manga chapters. So, I love the show, and I'm very sad to see it end. What I'll mainly be talking about is the last chapter, so spoiler alert, obviously. If you haven't read the manga, I will be spoiling it, so please, if you haven't read the manga and you're an anime-only watcher, don't watch past this point. If you are a manga reader, the new chapter's out, go check it out. And yeah, I just wanted to give my thoughts on it, so I will first say the things that I really, really loved about the final chapter. I think my favorite thing about the final chapter was Levi's ending. I thought Levi's ending was like the best one by far. Like the fallen soldiers like coming back and them saluting each other and everything. I thought that was perfect. I thought that was perfect. And then like showing Levi in the wheelchair and like in the time skip, which I'll get to the time skip later. But I thought that was just so well done. Most of the characters had great endings, which is what I really liked. Armin's development was awesome throughout the series. I loved Mikasa's ending. I loved Eren's ending, except for maybe like one small part, which I'll discuss. But yeah, I just loved how all of the characters, had an ending. Gabby and Falco getting together and all these things. I thought all the character endings were great, except for one, which I'll get into. But yeah, I really liked that. I really liked Eren and Armin were able to like go see the world together while they were talking. I thought that was really cool. Like, they saw the volcano and the northern lights and all this stuff. I thought that was really great that they finally got to see the world together and like they had like their bro moment. I thought that was really well done. I really liked that a lot. And I really liked the emotional weight of the final chapter. I thought the emotions hit really hard. The last chapter, the last panel, I should say, like got me very emotional. Like, like I teared up because, like it was the end and it was a solid final panel. Like it made me sad. It hit me on that perfect note of emotion. And I really, for the most part, enjoyed the final chapter. I really, really liked it a lot. I thought it was a good way to end the series. It wasn't what I was expecting. I would have liked to see more like stuff with Historia and like that whole angle. I really thought that Eren was going to be involved with Historia. I thought that was the angle that Isayama was going to take, and like maybe he had an offspring with her, and like he was going to like carry the torch of Eldia and stuff. But the fact that he like gave it to Armin, and you know, Historia was shown at the end, and like everyone's gonna live long, full lives, I think that was really cool. It wasn't what I wanted to see personally, but I still think it was good. The things that I really didn't like about the final chapter was Ymir's ending. I really didn't like Ymir's ending. What I will say about it is it makes sense. Like, it makes sense because, you know, Ymir sought freedom, and the reason that she, you know, never, like, pursued it was because she was in love with King Fritz. But King Fritz was awful, dude. Like, King Fritz was terrible. So the fact that, like, that's how they, like, tied up Ymir's story, oh, she was in love with King Fritz and all this stuff, I didn't really like that too much, personally. I think it was well done in the sense that, like, the one who ended the cycle was Mikasa, because, you know, as Ymir loved King Fritz, Mikasa loves Eren, and then Mikasa was the one who killed Eren. And I thought that was, like, a nice tie-in to, like, the whole thing. But I just, like, it just felt rushed. It just felt rushed, like, all of a sudden Eren's like, oh yeah, and Ymir was in love with King Fritz. And it's like, you know, like, I don't know. It just seemed a little rushed. Also, another thing that I didn't like about the ending was, it just did the classic anime time skip. You know, they went forward, it was like 3 years, I think. And then, like, you know, 80% of the world is just dead, and then, like, the Jaegerists are, like, in control of the military now, and, like, all this stuff. There's, like, they're, like, becoming peace ambassadors, and, like, all this stuff. I really think that there could have been one more chapter. I think they needed one more chapter. They could have ended this chapter, like, with Eren dying and being buried and stuff. And then I think they could have done one more full chapter, like, expanding on those, like, 3 years and, like, what the characters were going to be doing. Because I feel like there was so much more to be desired in that, like, little arc. I mean, it could have been, like, an entire arc. There was so much you could have done, like, to tie that up. But, I don't know. The time skip, it is what it is. I mean, at least we got to see, like, where things were going, but I would have liked more details on that. I would have liked to see how, like, the characters, like, recovered from everything that happened, and, like, I just feel like there was more to be desired. I think the ending with Mikasa was fantastic. I really liked that a lot. The bird symbolism was kind of weird, like the feather dropped from the sky into Armin's hand, and then she, like, the bird, like, lifted the scarf to show Mikasa, like, oh, you're always good, Eren's always here. I don't know, that was kind of weird, but, like, I'm not gonna, like, sit here and say that the ending sucked, because I liked the ending, and honestly, I don't know how much more they could have done. I think the whole, like, future fucking Eren can manipulate time and shit, and, like, he sent Dina Fritz to kill his mom and all that stuff. Like, some people are upset about that, but, like, it makes sense to me because it, like, sent Eren on the path that he went down to, like, have this all happen. Like, that was, like, what motivated him in the first place. But if Eren was able to, like, see those memories and stuff, like, as a when he was younger and everything, like, why did he ask Reiner, like, oh, why is my mother dead and all this? You know, there could be, like, some discussion for plot holes, and, like, it just, time travel and, like, all that shit, it just always gets super, super iffy, you know, like, it's always hard to, like, properly do that, like, perfectly. I think Avengers Endgame really showed that there can be a lot of plot holes with, like, time travel and stuff, you know, so I don't think that it was enough for me to hate the series and, like, oh man, this isn't my favorite series anymore. Like, everything up until the final chapter was so good that, like, the few plot holes in the end and, like, loose ends and stuff and, like, things that I thought were weird, I don't really care. Like, I just don't. Like, I love the ending. I really enjoyed the entire ride. So as far as Eren goes, like I said, he's my favorite character in any form of media. Definitely in the show, of course. I personally really liked how his arc ended. I really like the progression of his character in season 4. How he really like became like the villain, but then in the end, it's like, well, he did it all for his friends and stuff. And like people are upset that like he did the rumbling, but Aaron's entire character from the beginning was about freedom, and he just wanted to be free. He wanted freedom for himself, he wanted freedom for his friends, he wanted freedom for the people on the walls, and that's what always kept them moving forward. And it was like when the owl was like the attack titan fights for freedom. Like there's so many like times in the show where Aaron is like, every time I think of freedom, like it like drives me to like keep going. And like the attack titan fought for freedom, Aaron fought for freedom, so like the fact that like he was the attack titan just like made it even stronger. So he felt the solution to freeing his people was destroying his enemies, because if he didn't, then they were going to destroy them, and like they would all be wiped out. And so like I don't think the rumbling was out of his character or like made no sense, because to him that's what he wanted to do to save his people. So I thought like in the end, him stopping the rumbling and like having his friends like kill him to be the heroes and everything and stuff, like he was driven by that desire still until he like came to and was like, I can't do this, you know, I need to save my friends and preserve their futures and everything. And I think that like that was his sacrifice, but you know, he was driven by that desire for freedom. That's why he was doing what he was doing. And yeah, I think the only other thing about his character that people didn't like toward the end was that like he kind of got like a little whiny about like, oh, I want to be with Mikasa and all you guys and all this stuff, and like he kind of reverted to his old self like pre-season 4 Aaron. And you know, it wasn't necessarily like a part of his current character, like the character he became, but it was always in his nature to be like that. So I don't really see it as a fault that he reverted to that like in his moment of weakness, because you know, he was gonna die. He knew that his friends were going to move on and he wasn't gonna be able to. So yeah, I think that was in his character. I think Aaron was great. I think Aaron is probably the reason that I love the show so much, honestly. I give the show like a 9.5, or I should say the series. I give the series like a 9.5 out of 10. Like I'll take a few, like half a point off for some of the stuff at the end, but like that's it. That's it. Like for it to stay like a 10 out of 10 all the way up until that point, and then you just dock off half a point for like a few things that I didn't like and wish they had like expanded on. I'd say that's the most you could ever do as a creator, you know? Like, for me, I was completely satisfied. I loved the show. I absolutely loved the show. The manga was great. And I'm really excited to see how they adapt this second part of season 4. Stan! Hey! Leave it. Stanley has some thoughts on the show, apparently. But yeah, guys, let me know what you thought about Attack on Titan. The anime, the manga. If you read it to the end, let me know what you think of that. And yeah, I just wanted to make something else to talk about today. I really love Attack on Titan. I just kind of wanted to do something for it on my channel. So yeah. Also, let me know what you think of this format. I really only did this so I don't get copyrighted by any like anime stuff. But yeah, maybe you guys want to see me talk more on camera. Alright, deuces.